Hey there. Today we're going to talk about input and output tables. And input and output tables is another kind of pattern, but it's a pattern where we can write an equation or a rule that describes a pattern between input and output numbers. Tables, like the one shown here, can be used to show how an input number changes in the same way each time to create a new output number. And the way that I'm going to kind of attack these problems is I want to look at the relationship between each number, x and y, and what is changing to get from x to y. The first thing I want to decide is, are my numbers getting larger or are they getting smaller? In this case, from 2 to 9, from 4 to 11, and from 6 to 13, they're all getting larger, which means I must either be adding or multiplying to make my numbers larger. And I need to decide, what am I doing to get from one side to the other? And it needs to be the same for each pair. So from 2 to 9, I can't multiply 2 by anything to get 9, so it must be an adding rule. In this case, 2 plus 7 would give me 9. So I'm going to check that for the other given numbers that I have. 4 plus 7 would also give me 11. 6 plus 7 would give me 13. So the input-output rule for this table is going to be plus 7. And I can write an equation that says x plus 7 will equal y. And that should be the same for each one of these numbers that we have. So if I continued on my pattern, 8 is equal to x plus 7 would give me 15. The next number, 10 plus 7 would give me 17. 12 plus 7 would give me 19. And 14 plus 7 would give me 21. So all I did was take the x number here, apply the rule that we had, and I got an output number on the other side of the table. Let's take a look at another example. In this example, again, I have my input numbers here and my output numbers here, and I see that my numbers are actually getting smaller this time. To get from 11 to 8, I had to either subtract a number or divide. Those are the only two operations that I could do to make my numbers smaller. Well, I can't divide 11 by anything to get me 8, so I know that I must be using a subtraction rule. And 11 minus 3 gives me 8, so I'm going to check that rule for the other numbers. 12 minus 3 is 9, and 13 minus 3 is 10. So again, I can write a rule that says that these numbers, x minus 3, will give me my output numbers of y. And then I can continue the rule for the rest of the numbers. So 14 minus 3 would give me 11. 15 minus 3 would give me 12. And 16 minus 3 would give me 13. So there I've just completed my output-input table using the rule that I established from the given numbers. Let's look at another example. In this example, I see that my numbers are actually getting smaller, going from 15 to 3, 20 to 4, and 25 to 5. And I know that if my numbers are getting smaller, that I must either be subtracting or dividing. In this case, I could subtract 12 to get from 15 to 3, But I could also divide 15 by something that would give me 3. 15 divided by 5 gives me 3 as well. So now I'm going to check these two rules against my other given numbers to see which rule will actually apply. Well, 20 minus 12 does not give me 4. And 25 minus 12 does not give me 5. But 20 divided by 5 gives me 4. And 25 divided by 5 gives me 5. So I know my rule must be dividing by 5. So if I divide x by 5, I end up with y. To continue my pattern, I'm just going to divide each of my x's by 5 to get my y. 30 divided by 5 is 6, and 35 divided by 5 is 7. Let's do one more example. Here I see my numbers are getting larger, going from 5 to 15, 6 to 18, 7 to 21, so that I know that I must either be adding or multiplying by something to make my numbers larger. If I added something to 5 to give me 15, I would have to add 10. But I could also multiply something by 5 to give me 15. I could multiply 5 by 3, and that would give me 15. So again, I'm going to check both of these rules against the other given numbers and see which rule applies to all of them. Well, 6 plus 10 does not give me 18, and 7 plus 10 does not give me 21. So I must say that plus 10 is not going to be my rule. But 6 times 3 gives me 18, and 7 times 3 gives me 21. So therefore my rule for this input-output table is x times 3 equals y. So to continue my pattern, I'm simply going to multiply the x column by 3 to come up with my y column. 8 times 3 is 24, and 9 times 3 is 27.